Morning, how's it going? It's another frosty morning on the Avenue Washlands Nature Reserve. About 2 degrees Celsius at the moment, and I'm heading out for the longest run I've done for a while now, aiming for 12 kilometres if all goes well. I've got a few things to talk about. I'm updated on stuff that's happened recently. You may have seen my last video, which is where I did my first proper math test. Went pretty well. One or two issues with the filming, which I'm going to discuss later and hopefully rectify. And since then, I don't know if you follow Phil Begnett on YouTube, but he's done a reaction video where he watches my video and adds some commentary, some hilarious commentary at times, taking the mickey out of some of the things I do, which was fun. You notice I've not got my head torch on today, Phil. It was actually dark when I set off last week, or at least dark enough so you couldn't see the dog poos between the houses and the fence next to them. So yeah, no need for that this morning. So I'm heading in the usual direction. I didn't bother filming the Anchorbold Road entrance this morning, as I'm sure you've seen it enough times already. But yeah, heading down the same way onto the trail bit now. Still sticking in the Maff heart rate range, though I have actually shortened the range to kind of 5 beats rather than 10 now. So I'm keeping between 129 and 134, and 134 is the upper limit as always. And we'll see how that goes. Catch you in a bit. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was something I mentioned a couple of weeks back, where I've altered my running form slightly, just to help protect my knee basically. Just found this way of running that is slightly different from what I'm used to, and it doesn't upset my knee, so definitely sticking with that for now. But it feels like that's actually a breakthrough that I needed. So this injury and subsequent visit to the physio, it's one of those things in life where something seems really bad when it happens, but then something good comes out of it. So yeah, I'm always looking out for stuff like that. Makes you feel better about the bad stuff if nothing else, but you just end up in situations and finding out things that you wouldn't have if whatever bad incident happened didn't happen. So here, having got the injury, been to the physio, and then had to adjust my form, I feel like I've found kind of the next little step forward in getting myself into a better runner. So what I feel like I'm doing now is spending more time with my feet kind of under my base and behind me, rather than any reaching out in front of me. I'm not saying I've totally eliminated it, but the physio did point out that there was a slight overstride at points when he was reviewing the video of me on the treadmill. So with that in mind, I now feel like that kind of reaching forward action has almost been taken out of my running, and I'm spending more time with my legs straighter. I'm not kind of sinking into the saddle, as I think Sage Canaday puts it, spending all the time with my legs just bent underneath me, acting like springs, and a lot more time with my legs relatively straight, and it just feels a lot better. It feels like I'm landing more lightly, spending less time on the ground, and working my knees a lot less, which was the main aim from the beginning. So that's one good thing to have come out of this, so thankful for that. And hopefully I can take this running form forward when I'm not just sticking to the flattish bits of trail and just doing the short math runs every week. But yeah, I think that's some kind of useful breakthrough. I'm pleased with that, and I'll keep on with this long run. Catch you in a bit. Does anyone feel like they've seen this same bit of trail quite a few times before? If so, you're not the only one. The second thing I wanted to talk about today is the repetitiveness of these flat trails I've been using for all my runs since I got the knee problem. Spoke to the physio. The route that follows the river and the railway from my house down here. It's nice, and I've been down here a lot of times. Nice place to run, nice wide flat path, gently undulated in places. I haven't found anywhere completely flat except for the place I do the math tests. So yeah, it is a nice place to run. I don't mind coming down here a couple of times a week for the 5Ks and you know, long runs occasionally, but when you're restricted to the point where this is where every single run is, it does get a little bit boring. So yeah, I need to look forward to the point where I can actually choose different routes, you know, go on places that are a little bit more hilly and involved than these bits of flat terrain. And that's something I'm looking forward to, but also at the same time a little bit scared of, because of the knee problem. And you know, in fact, I'm trying to run in this new way without bending my knees quite so much. I know that as soon as I get onto the hillier terrain, that's you know, I'm gonna have to figure out how to run up and down hills in a way that doesn't upset my knee, which yeah, I'm sure I'll figure out, but I don't want to injure myself while I'm figuring it out. So that is something that's putting kind of doubts in my mind at the moment. I want to progress, but at the same time I don't want to regress because of that. So yeah, something to think about. Still see the moon this morning. Yeah, so yeah, I think I'll probably start doing one of my shorter runs each week on a slightly hillier route fairly soon, but just yeah, monitor my knee, make sure nothing bad's happening with it, and just try and figure out the best way to tackle those hillier routes without upsetting it. Little pond's frozen this morning. Bit of an incline here. Shouldn't take me more than a few meters to go over my heart rate limit. Oh, it's okay, I'm going back down. Up to 133 already. I'm going to show you. Have you ever seen a watch with a number on it before? It's fascinating. Oh, 135. See how long it takes for the alert. There we go. So it's nice and crunchy as I get onto the grassy bit of trail here and head towards the math test arena. The reason I'm heading there today, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. When I recorded the math test, the first 2 kilometers I actually did a kind of time-lapse view so you could see the entire route, and then obviously I repeated that 3 times without making you watch it all. So since then I've discovered my mistake with recording that time-lapse footage, where you may have noticed it was a little bit juddery, and you probably felt sick by the end of kilometer 1, let alone kilometer 2. So I've since done a bit of research. I found the top video for time-lapse settings using a GoPro on YouTube. Watched the first couple of minutes and the guy explained it quick as that. I knew exactly what I'd done wrong, for as far as I know. We'll find out. But basically he said there are 3 modes for time-lapse on the GoPro. There's the time-lapse, which is the one I used, you know, thinking I'll do a time-lapse, this should be it. And then there's time warp, I had no idea what that was at the time, and night lapse. Now, we don't need to talk about night lapse. That's obviously for when you're filming at night, watching the stars go by, that kind of thing. But then the time lapse and the time warp are 2 different things. Time lapse, the one I used by mistake, is designed for where you've got a still, motionless camera on a tripod or something, and you're pointing at the same arena, just watching the world go by, whether it's the clouds in the sky, people passing by, that kind of thing. and that automatically turns off all of the stabilization, which is not great when you're recording a running video. So that's where I went wrong. Whereas the time warp, on the other hand, that's the one I should have been using. I've already come a cropper once this morning. I'm just going to take my time down this slidey bank. I didn't quite come a cropper, but my foot slipped a good, foot along the ice down a hill, and yeah, I managed to regain my balance. But yeah, there we go, survived that bit. So here we are, back in the abandoned works of dreams. So I'm going to try, just while I'm on this long run, and to just run one there and out and back on my Maff test route, this time using the correct settings. Hopefully the time warp will show a much smoother picture, which is something akin to what I accidentally did the other week on one of my videos, but didn't realise what I'd done. So we'll try this time warp. It's going to be 2 kilometers altogether, and we'll see if that comes out any better. Fingers crossed, and wish me luck. There we go. At this point I have no idea whether that came out properly or not, but I'll find out when I get home. I'm about 6.5 kilometers into the run now. I know it's about 5 back to my starting point, so looking at about 11.5k. I was aiming for 12, so not far off. But yeah, the rising sun this morning, yeah, it's really nice. It's just coming up behind those trees, and nice crispy morning with the sun just coming up. Nice place to be, really. So yeah, I'll do the sort of the Maff run back home and get some breakfast. Enjoy the rest of the day. Hope you enjoy yours too. Catch you in a bit. Just took a slight detour on the way home. One way to add that extra 0.5 kilometre I was looking for, but this is an impassable route now. I don't know how slippy it is. Pretty icy. See, the water's frozen, and yeah, you used to be able to come down here, but now there's a sign saying there's no through route because it ends where they put this temporary wooden stopper up, because there was some kind of weather damage down at the far end there. Something's collapsed and you can't actually get through to where it joins up with the other paths. So just thought I'd come down and see the state of it at the moment. It's been like this for quite a while. I did used to run this way, just for a bit of variation. Also never seen so many trains on this bit of track. Just seen a couple going from left to right. I think there's a couple parked up going from right to left. Seems to be a train traffic jam, which is not something I'm used to seeing. You know how I was talking about the way sometimes things happen that appear to be bad on the face of it, then turn out to be good? One of those just happened. So I'd gone down that dead end route just to see you know, whether it was still blocked off and what the situation was down there, and to add a bit of distance and be nosy. Several reasons, but as I was walking down there I wanted to get some footage of myself running. And I thought, well, no one else is going to come down here. It's a dead end, so this is the perfect place to do it in peace. So as I was on my way back up from the water there, I saw a lady walking down towards the water with a dog. I thought, wow, I'm just about to put the camera down here, and then someone's walking down this route, which is a total dead end. So unless she's planning on skating across the pond, then I'm not sure why she's walking down there. So after saying morning, I let her know that it was still a dead end down there, and she hadn't realised that she'd taken that path. It is a bit of a maze down here. I often get lost myself, though on the map it looks really simple, but when you're here it's a different matter. So I told her it was still a dead end. She actually explained to me what had happened, and it turns out that vandals had set fire to the decking at the far end, so burnt all the decking away, and now that area is useless and impassable. She said it's been months and months like that, so I think she was kind of half expecting it to be fixed by now, but also hadn't realised that she'd taken that turn. So she went back the other way. I jogged on, found a better place to film that didn't have the sun blaring away in the background and loads of trains faffing about in the little traffic jam, so worked out for the better all round. So yeah, there we go, just another one of those nice situation seems bad, turns out good things, which yeah, I hope we get more of, because bad situations can be bad. Look at that, walking into the sun, nice way to head home. Bad situations can be bad. So I've come out without a handkerchief this morning. My nose is running a bit in this cold weather. I didn't really forget it, but I didn't remember it until I got downstairs. So to get one, I would have had to go back upstairs and risk waking my wife up. And the last thing she said to me last night was, "Don't wake me up in the morning." So I was a good boy and I just left without one. Right, I did just take one final detour through the nature reserve there, just to have another attempt at doing the time warp that went badly wrong last week. Because yeah, it is a nice place down there, but when the camera looks like it's wobbling all over the place, it's not quite so enjoyable. So hopefully that's turned out better. Right, I think that may be everything I have to say for this week. If you want to check out Phil's video where he reacts to mine from last week and kindly takes the mickey out of any faux pas or crazy things I do on there, I'll leave a link in the description. Phil's got a good channel. I watched a video yesterday where he was running an ultra marathon, which was very challenging by the looks of it, and he captured that really well. So yeah, feel free to check Phil's channel out as well. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and please like the video, and as always comment down below so we can have a chat, and I'll catch you next week. Thanks guys. Oh, and just one more thing, as Columbo would say, but a lot more cool than that. I've recently subscribed to Jase Lambert's channel. He's the guy who pointed out that there was a Spire Ultra on the Chesterfield round walk route. He's recently uploaded another trail run video, so looks like he's putting some more content up, and it's all around the Chesterfield area as well. So some places known to me and some new routes that I can hopefully discover in future, but I'll put a link to his channel down below as well so you can check that out. Cheers, see ya.